Now back to Let's Chat with Tita Gracie, only here on V81 Radio.
Okay, and we're back. And to all our friends out there, remember that V81 Radio is available on 5 platforms. We broadcast on Facebook Live, YouTube. We also air the same shows on our website, and you can download the mobile app. And in the US, our shows are available on all Alexa devices. And we're back here with our guests, DJ John Robinson and Dodo Melicor, president of DM Entertainment. And we were talking about this interesting collaboration which you aired Friday night.
Yes, yes, we did.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are wondering what this collaboration is about, let's roll that second video for our special 80s medley.
See them walking hand in hand across the bridge at midnight. So bright. Walk right out to the ball and track with the camera rolling on my back, on her back. And I sing the rhythm, humming in the country all the way down the spine. Girls on film, 2 minutes later. Girls on film. Girls on film. I just had to laugh. The face you were was cool. You were a photograph when it's all too late. It's all too late. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the love to ask you how you feel. Is this what you deserve? When it's all too late, it's all too late. Change, you can change. Change, you can change. I should have said and done. I never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that you see lungs and times. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. You were always on my mind. On my mind. You were always 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 on my mind.
Bravo! Bravo!
Thank you, that was fun.
Santiago, ang galing mo.
Shout out to Randy Santiago, the mystery celebrity.
He's such a good guy.
What an amazing piece! And the songs that you selected, when I watched it last Friday night, I was so happy because I love those bands.
Awesome. I'm glad you liked it, Gracie.
Yes, I really did, and I'm sure a lot of people out there liked it too, because Duran Duran and Tears for Fears and Pet Shop Boys were like the bands of that new wave. They came in towards the latter part of the whole new wave thing, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely they did.
yes, because I remember particularly that song, You Were Always on My Mind. I remember I was living in San Francisco during the time when that album came out. And at that time, we didn't have, I still had a Walkman, a tape, a cassette tape with a Walkman. And I would walk a couple of blocks to my bus station from my office because I was working in the Embarcadero 3. 1989, I remember. I had that in my Walkman every morning rushing to work. So that brought back a lot of good memories for me.
Nice. Reminiscing
I
for
was
you.
there also
Nice.
at the same time, 1989. I was there also.
Really? I was there during the earthquake.
I was there. I was in school.
Where did you go to school in San Francisco?
I went to USF, and hello to those guys, USF guys who always tune into Sanctuary.
Yes, I love the Bay Area. At that time, I was already working. I was a legal secretary. I was on the 16th floor of the Embarcadero when that big earthquake happened, and
Wow.
we had to stay inside of the building until it was safe to do so. But I couldn't believe it. You were also there. Wow.
I was in school. I was in the. I wanted to say I was in the library, but I was somewhere in school.
But that day of the earthquake, Dodo, was also the World Series game over
World
Canada.
Series, correct, right.
Yeah, and everybody in my office had left early or hit the bar early, and we were only 5 girls left in my wing of the building because everybody wanted to go to the game or to go to the bar to watch the game. John, I hope you don't mind. We're going to digress a little bit because
It's all good. It's all
this
good.
is amazing memories of that time, and only 5 left during the earthquake in my wing of the Embarcadero 3. Wow.
Galing, you were there also. Galing. And speaking of San Francisco, I don't know if John and I were supposed to be there. During this time,
Yeah.
mid-June.
Yeah, we're supposed to be there right now and over the Independence Day.
We should have been there a couple of weeks back. We already have a venue in New York. I forgot the name, but it was in downtown New York.
Was it the Melrose Ballroom in New York? Is that right?
Melrose Ballroom. Hello to Grace and Rich there. So we had the schedule already, but we had to postpone because of this. And we were headed towards the West Coast, San Francisco and LA. Again, Pam, and Grace, and Susan. We're sayang.
Sayang.
Yeah, sayang talaga. So you were supposed to be on a tour doing gigs all over the US right now.
Yep, today.
You're reaching the world via Sanctuary. So it's like a blessing in disguise. At the same time, it's a heartbreaking thing to happen that you have to cancel a tour.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's been heartbreaking. Sorry, go ahead, Dodo.
No, I was saying maybe the viewers of V81 would, support us when we head to the US.
Oh, yes, and I would
It'd be
love
great
to
to see them there.
dates, the gig dates when you are ready, when the whole world opens up. Because right now, still no flights to the United States.
No, and I've had so many gigs cancelled for the year, and I deleted them from my calendar because they're gone, and that's okay. Get over it. There's no point crying about it. So I cancelled from the calendar, but of course, a lot of these things went onto the calendar in the cloud. So here I am, I'm doing Sanctuary, and then like a little bubble pops up on the screen. You're supposed to be in Tokyo. You're supposed to be in Okinawa today. You're supposed to, you go away. I know. We'll do it another time. This is just kind of poking me with a memory.
Well, the world as we knew it is gone, but we have a new normal. And although we still remember what it's like, and we wish that it was the same, but this whole pandemic rubbed it all and completely gave us a new paradigm. And now we're operating in a digital space,
Yeah.
and learning or retooling ourselves properly. And who knows, it's just the brave new world of digital is upon
Oh, it
us.
absolutely is, and we have to get creative with it. To the point that, you know, Juan Miguel and I were talking that, of course, we want to do our concert live with an audience, but what if? And the what if comes then, you know, maybe we try to do something for a digital audience, do the show as an online concert. As a, you know, we're not there yet. We haven't given up on doing it live, but you got to think the what ifs and, you know, make your contingencies.
Yes. Well, we're not alone. The whole world, the whole arts, and the whole gig economy is relearning this world. A few weeks back, I had guests from the arts and culture community from the Cultural Center of the Philippines, because a few years ago I was the head of the marketing department of the CCP, and it's tragic because the CCP lost so much money. They're moving all their shows online and quickly have to retool and learn how to do things digitally, because everything online, from drama to ballet to symphonic music, etc., and much like what we're doing in the events industry and the club economy. So we're in a big Noah's Ark, uncharted waters, and we just have to be creative and keep the spirits up. And with that, I'm so sure that with what you guys are doing, you're really keeping everybody's spirits up with Sanctuary, because you can't help but be happy when you tune in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to you guys out there. You can't help but bring the joy into your homes when you tune in. So please tune into Sanctuary next weekend.
One of the things that from this whole experience that has made me happier than anything, I read all of the chats, or as many as I can. Let me take that back. It's impossible to read all the chats. The show last Sunday, there were 10,500 chat messages over 5 hours, and they whiz by. I have them on a screen right in front of me, so I can do greetings and connect to people, and it's like a visceral feedback. I can see if people are liking something, they put like emoticons for like hands up in the air and things like that. So it's really a way to gauge reaction. It's fun. But getting back to my point, one of the things which makes it really worthwhile for me is when I read a message like, you know, thank you, John, thank you, Dodo, for doing this. You've kept me sane, you know, during lockdown. You know, we look forward all week to this, or so on, and it warms your heart, because it makes you feel like it was the right thing to do, and it's working. I love it when I see messages like that.
Yes, I felt that way. You guys didn't even know me yet when I first tuned in, and I know how that felt like. And now you're here. I didn't even realize that things would happen so quickly, and you guys are here with me tonight. And really, what I'm so thankful for is the fact that we're opening up a whole new audience for you guys, V81 audience. I'm sure they're interested. So really, if you can just give us a little bit of an idea, like, do you have some surprises in the next few weeks, or some idea of what treats you will have? Because you've had collaboration with Juan Miguel, and look at it, and then with Randy. And then I think last night you had another celebrity guest, right?
We had the concert king last night himself.
Wow.
Had Martin Rivera. And again, I have to say thank you to Martin, and I have to let everybody know what a good guy he is. I think a lot of people look at showbiz celebrities and maybe have preconceived opinions, but when people say that Martin is a good guy, take that at face value, because he absolutely is. I spoke to him last Monday. I said, you know, what do you need? What would you like? And I said, well, really, I'd like you to come on the show and do that. I said, yeah, okay. And, you know, it'd be great if you could sing some songs for us. It was a bit like the situation with Randy sending me in the videos. I had this conversation with Martin. I went to have my dinner. I hadn't even finished dinner. And there's an app called Telegram, which is easy to send videos through. He sent me 3 videos in the time it took me to have my dinner. A brand new song, a song that he knows I like, and then a medley of his ballads. And not only that, in amongst all of the rehearsals and pre-recording for ASAP, which went back on the air in the Philippines today, he made time to go live with me and come on the show as a live guest and do an interview segment. So before he went to bed last night. So Martin, if this gets to you, and if it doesn't, just everybody out there know what a genuinely decent guy he is, and he wanted to do this to reach out to people. So thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you.
And I knew Dodo was laughing and going like this, because when we were on commercial break, we're texting each other because we're working on a guest for next week. But I got to remain tight-lipped because nothing is confirmed. But we're always trying to take it to the next level. If it was just a straight-up DJ set, the same music every week, the same format, it would be boring. I've tried to make every show that we do different, whether that's, some nights it's more on 80s, some nights it's more on 90s, some nights it's more on new mixes, remixes that I've dug up of retro songs. It just has to have some new character. And then with bringing in live guests and collaborations, it has to evolve and become something bigger each time. So next week is a challenge.
Yeah, so we're going to be watching out for that, I'm sure.
We've had DJ guests also, John. We've had Mon Maramba, Ferdy Valdez, Chinky Carpio, Boyet. We've had DJ guests also who've shared their talents for our cause.
Yes, and such worthy causes. Are you going to continue with the advocacy, for the foreseeable future?
For me, absolutely. There were a couple of times where we took a 1-week break off from doing it. We are conscious of the fact that a lot of our regulars, they're impacted by this just like everybody else are. Some of them aren't working. Things are tight, and they've been so generous and they've given so much. That being said, something I do say to people is, if you're in a position to donate, that's great. And if you're not, enjoy. It doesn't matter. It's not just about the money. And the other side is I've started calling it a retro online clubbing experience, and tease people. Well, if you were out clubbing tonight, if you could go out, how much would it cost you to buy a drink where you are? I mean, I guess it depends on how social a place is. Is it a simple place? Is it 50 pesos, 100 pesos? You're living in New York. Is it $10, $15? What is it? So consider buying a drink, but instead of buying that drink, that's what you donate, whatever you can. And again, that mantra, that ethos that we put into everything, every centavo or every cent or whatever currency it is, everything that comes in goes back up.
Yes. And, as you sow, so shall you reap. So I'm sure that the blessings are really going to come your way. Somebody up there is watching over you guys, and all we want you to be is healthy and safe, and keep on keeping on, because we love your music.
That's somebody up there. I know he uses us as instruments also to help these guys. But again, heroes here, of course, John and their sanctuary. It's really.
Well, no, heroes for me are people on the front lines and people doing the heavy lifting. The people who've been on the front lines all through this. I can't do that. I can't cook, so I can't make meals for people. But what I can do is play music and make a fool of myself on the camera for people's entertainment. So I'm fine with that. That's all good.
Same here. I was never really a professional host, but I've been a professional events manager like Dodo for many, many years, and with a strong background in advertising and communication. So I've been out there once in a while, making a fool out of myself. No host, no budget for a host. Okay, I'll do it. No script writer. Okay, I'll do no voiceover announcer. Okay, I'll do it. So I know what that's like. You know,
I feel you.
Well, what's that, Dodo?
I feel you. I'm a VO also once in a while.
Yeah, we gotta do it. You know, it's also like you said, it's a passion. We events management was really not a formal profession. I was one of the first in the advertising industry. This is the mid '80s to actually have an events manager as a title. It was way back 1988. I was in 85 before I left for the States to study. I was already doing events with San Miguel Corporation way back then. And back then there was no events management industry, nothing. No gig economy because we all had day jobs, and then we would do events on the side, or we at night we would organize parties, and we weren't even called event organizers, right?
Yeah.
But certainly the frontliners are a tremendous part of the way our country has coped with this pandemic. And our friend Juan Miguel Salvador, another very generous artist and a very, he's got a heart. Again, a guy with the heart in the right place, has approved and given us permission to air his video tribute to our frontliners. And tonight being retro night, I would like to show the video that he has shared with us. So he made a retro version that will suit our theme. So if our tech team is ready for State of the Nation, let's play that video now.
Marching off to war, they're looking so heroic. I'm told they won't be gone for long, but it's a lie and they know it. 10,000 gone, they won't return, never to be seen again. Strategic games are all they learn. At the end, what they say, don't you worry about the situation. A message from the telephone, they're up there fighting for the fate of the nation, and waiting for a chance to come home. They'll always have to fight the alienation, and realize they're fighting alone. Nightmares, memories fade to dust. We'll get back on our feet again. This war has nothing to do with us, but somehow we're still involved in it. So don't you worry about the situation. The message from the telephone, they'll be fighting for the sake of the nation, and waiting for a chance to come home. So don't you worry about the situation. A message from the telephone, they're fighting for the sake of the nation, and waiting for a chance to come home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place that I want to be anywhere else. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place that I want to be anywhere else. Now don't you worry about the situation. A message from the telephone, they'll be fighting for the fate of the nation, home.
Bravo. And I
Galing
would
mo,
like to
Dodo.
Galing, ano? I would like to thank Juan Miguel Salvador for sharing that video with us. And it's because aside from being retro, it really suits the theme of the event. We've got guys with tremendous hearts. Juan Miguel certainly has that advocacy of his, and he's really working hard to help the musicians. And that video was his retro tribute to our frontliners, and it's amazing how he put it all together.
Galing, galing. Gracie, there are a lot of inspirational videos out there. Sobra, ang dami, galing. Congrats to them and thank you for inspiring a lot of people. I know of one video from a guy. This guy is he's based in London. His name is Mark. Nice guy, nice guy. He created a very inspirational video. It's called "We Will Win," and the talent. I think he composed it, and the talent's name is Shannon. Also nice. She's a very pretty person, pretty lady, and also a nice person as well. I think John knows them. John, do you know Mark and Shannon?
Yeah, well, the surname of both of them is Robinson, which is a bit of a dead giveaway.
Mark is his brother
brother
and Shannon
wrote-
is his daughter.
Yeah, brother wrote the song. My daughter did the vocals. I put the video together for them, and it's become our closing theme each week for Sanctuary. And it's on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube and all. So it's a very moving song, really a song for the times.
Oh, one time I would really hope to get your permission if I can show it.
Absolutely, of course.
Yes, because this pandemic is not going to go away overnight. We're still living with it, and the reality is still very grim out there. People are still getting sick. People are dying. Here in the Philippines, although there are lesser people that are reported that have reportedly passed away. That's because we're not testing as much, so we don't know the infection rate. And in the coming days, I don't know what's going to happen. There's so much uncertainty, right?
I think we're all a bit worried about what's going to happen in the coming days. The line of the chorus of this song is "We will win, we will rise again," which I think has got a very strong, powerful message there.
I just got a message that I think there are still an alarming number of cases. The medical community is still quite worried. So, but we're still here. For us in the digital space, doing our thing. My show, you guys with Sanctuary. I think the best thing we can share is a little bit of respite from the stress, hope, and let's keep things positive because we're doing our little bit. If it touches 1-2 lives, great. But I think as a collective, we're touching a lot of lives, and I really want to salute you guys at Sanctuary, not just for giving joy to their homes and sharing that positive vibe, but making a statement with the kind of fundraising jobs that you do. So let's continue to share that energy and that positive feeling to our audience. And who knows, one day.
I've made a pledge to our audience that as long as we can't go out to physical clubs, I'll keep this going. As long as there's an audience, if people get bored and they decide not to watch anymore, then maybe I won't bother. But as long as there's an audience who want to be involved, I'll keep doing this for as long as we can't go out.
Yes. And how about you, Dodo? What are your thoughts about this whole thing that we're undergoing?
Quite painful for me actually, the family, but we lost loved ones to COVID, and so
yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
it's like having things easy. kasi, di ba, we don't want others to be infected. We'd like to help more. So, yun. John, ikaw na.
Yes. Actually, we all have known people that have passed away because of COVID. On in the month of March, a good friend of mine, the lead singer of Mulatto.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recall, Joey Bautista was one of the first celebrities to succumb to COVID-19. And then a few days later, I found out that another friend of mine, Christopher De Leon, the actor, but Christopher survived. He's healthy now. Shout out to Boyet. I know that you may be out there watching, and definitely your sisters, Tony and Melissa. Shout out to you girls out there. But Boyet survived, and unfortunately, he's not on air right now because his station was closed. But Boyet's healthy, thank God for that.
Excellent. A friend of ours, a dancer from, I guess you know, Noel from X People passed. But if they don't test, we don't know what it is. But anyway, let's focus on the positivity. There's so many sad stories these days, as it is.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, one other thing is that for the people that are interested in logging on to Twitch,
Yes.
because Twitch is not a very popular platform in the Philippines. Everybody's still on Facebook or Instagram, right? But Twitch is something new. And what is the advantage of broadcasting on Twitch over other platforms?
It's the stability of the platform. Facebook has a habit of cutting DJs' feeds every 30 or 40 minutes. So I broadcast simultaneously. We're on Facebook, but most of our listeners, viewers have migrated over to Twitch. The percentage is probably 80 or 90% on Twitch. And then there's a few stragglers on Facebook. And I always, when we see people on Facebook, we always encourage them to come over to Twitch. I mean, some people don't want to. They want to stay in their Facebook so they can carry on doing what they're doing. But Twitch, the sound is very good. The visual is very good. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. You just register and come on in. The beauty with Twitch, in addition to the sound and the video, is what I mentioned earlier on. It's the community. It's the chat. Our sanctuarians are just crazy on the chat. So it's a lot of fun, and that's the glue which holds it all together. So from day one, we were on Twitch, and there was no other DJs on Twitch back then. There's quite a few DJs on Twitch now. So I'm not sure whether we started something there or they found it by themselves, but there were none when we started, and there are plenty these days. So I think we've maybe helped a few transition over. If somebody asks me, how do you do it? I'm happy to share it. It's not like keep it to myself and not telling anybody how to do it. I share the tricks that I've learned with anybody who wants to know.
Sure. Dodo, you have something to say about that?
No, John's the V guy, so he's like you mentioned earlier. When it comes to tech, he's the only guy.
The guy.
Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead.
I was wondering, have you caught on with the digital, because you handle events, and the DJ scene, the club scene is one kind of event that you have in DM Entertainment. Other kinds of digital events that you are whipping up or you're thinking of doing?
Yes, I was going to get to that. I've gotten inquiries to hold a digital party. I've gotten also corporate friends who reached out and asked for them to, for their launches, for their parties, for them to, if they can have John as guests. We're open to that also. So imagine a retro fun night for corporate digital. So yeah, we're open to that. John will be available, right, John?
Absolutely, and now we've got the studio here. There's all sorts of things I can do with it. I mean, I've got the flag up still from when because it was Independence Day, but I can very easily put myself in a DJ booth, and that should be going through if everything's working here. So it's all fun. You gotta move. You gotta find ways to make. I mean, we've got music going, and it's kind of like it just adds a little bit of energy. It just makes something a little bit different.
That's amazing. It's really great because this whole new digital platform, and you can explore and try to stretch. I mean, I'm now thinking of great ideas for how brands can make most out of a collaborative effort with you guys, because it's just actually it's an event manager's dream, because it's a great platform for digital, and now that everybody's scrambling to do something more than just ads, more than just webinars, because now they're like thousands of webinars and learning experiences, and the use of it as an entertainment platform, and later on paid on demand platform. That's really something that we should explore, because I think there are a lot of possibilities that could come up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And, the screen behind you, John, people can send out Father's Day greetings next weekend, right?
Absolutely, they can. I mean, what I've got behind me is a green screen, so it gives me a lot of flexibility. I can do anything with it. I can play videos on the screen. I've got virtual sets. While I'm talking to you here, I'm actually on another screen scrolling through to look for one of my virtual sets. I wasn't actually prepped to do this. If I can find one, I will, and if not, you'll just have to take my word for it. But it's kind of challenging, because when I'm doing this live, obviously I'm mixing music and I'm switching things. So I'm doing the job of the visual guy. I'm doing the job of obviously the DJ and this and that. So it's quite challenging. But there's a lot of things I can do. You'll have to tune into Sanctuary to see exactly what that is. Well, actually, here I can bring up a set like this, which it's more like a news type set. I got the screen behind me, which I can put anything in. If I just came over here and let's see, we could drop in some. If I can find my, you can tell I wasn't quite ready for this, right?
That's okay.
Drop the video in behind me on the screen there, I guess. But let's take that out. So anyway, it's all fun. Like, so much things that you can do with it.
I tried to get to grab a screen capture with my mobile phone earlier today. Oh, there you go. You have a game on.
I got some Mario Brothers going behind us now. So you can do anything with this thing.
You can do anything with it. So I think what's important is that, number one, this is a very versatile show. The Sanctuary is a versatile show on digital, over the internet, and for companies and brands out there that are looking for how they can create a high impact online presence in a platform that reaches thousands of people every time they broadcast. Certainly, DM Entertainment and DJ John Robinson have something very interesting for you to explore, because the advertising possibilities and the the collaboration, you can just go creative. You can go wild with it. And what do you think of that, Dodo?
Oh, it's exciting times. You just mentioned, imagine all these brands on our screen, 5-6 hours a day, 3 to 4 days a week. It's crazy. Not only that, John mentions these guys 5 to 10 times a night, right, John? And
it's going back to the chat again. You know, we put up something last week. It's a restaurant which had supported us, and we showed their video on the screen behind us. And you can see the chat lighting up. Oh, I fancy that. Oh, I like their, specifying certain dishes. I want to order that. And it's all happening in real time. So it's quite fun.
Yes, yes. And one of the things that is interesting is the fact that now, because there's no more mainstream television, I mean, they're very the pickings are very slim for brands to communicate to their audiences. Um, Radio is not neither here nor there as far as advertise. It's not going anywhere. It's rather stagnant at the moment, and everybody was really caught unaware with the impact of the pandemic. But certainly, the brave new world for brand advertising and brand communication would be the new digital broadcasts that are available. And for those that are, I would say, early adapters, I would say that Sanctuary is a fantastic opportunity for these early adapter brands. And if you want to experiment, do something out of the box, I think Sanctuary has something in store for you. So, Dodo, after tonight, I'm sure you're gonna get more calls. And
Excellent.
I welcome them. Thank you.
Exciting.
very exciting. And it's really all about experimentation, because right now there are no rules.
No rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are no rules, and we're not stuck to a 30-second advertising format like a typical commercial is 30 seconds, or if you can stretch it to a 60-second format. But the point of the digital event, such as Sanctuary, is the fact that you can think out of the box, you can create new forms of communication, you can integrate it with whatever you can salvage from your old marketing communications plan, give it that special Sanctuary feel, and stretch it for a long period of time for several nights in a week. So I think it's all about experimentation, being a little bit bold, thinking out of the box, and giving. Go ahead, Dodo.
And add a DJ host like John.
Yes.
I don't see anybody doing it better than him. Imagine your ad in the back, coupled with his talking, and man, it's exciting times ahead.
I would say
Thank
it's
you.
a
Interjection to mail.
I would say it's a formula for success, for a successful venture. And certainly DM Entertainment with you there, Dodo, at the helm, and the brand of DJ John Robinson, his energy, his creativity, his showmanship, his styling goes beyond just DJing. But like I said, you're a showman, John. You're a total package, and I'm so grateful. Unmatched.
I'm slightly ragged around the edges today after this is at the end of the three long ones, so hopefully I'm still holding it together here.
Yes, you are, because, well, ladies and gentlemen, for your information, this guy has not stopped, because you did a gig on Friday night, you did another gig Saturday night, and you did a gig this morning for the US audience, right?
That's right. So, and it's hard to sleep. I find that and it may sound strange, when you perform in front of a real audience, there's that adrenaline rush, and there's that high, that natural high from performing, and it's hard to unwind and to sleep. But I get that performing digitally. It's the weirdest thing. So I finished last night around 2:30, 2:45, I think it was, maybe close to 3. I'm not sure. It's almost impossible to sleep. I mean, I try to unwind, I try to sleep and go to bed, set my alarms for 9 o'clock because we're on air at 10. 7 o'clock this morning, I'm wide awake, I'm raring to go. I think I didn't actually get into a deep sleep because the adrenaline is still there from last night. And I'm still feeling pretty good right now, but maybe about another 30 or 40 minutes from here, or an hour or so, I'm going to be ready to kick back and relax a little bit.
But you know what? I understand where you're coming from, because it's like us when we organize our events. It takes me a long time if the event is a big party. It's adrenaline just keeps on going and going and going. And I'm the same. Sometimes it takes me like a whole 24 hours to get over it because you're just so pumped up. And what more
Oh, I
you
completely-
for hours?
I mean, I completely get it. And it was a short story for you here, a little sort of like a analogy, if you like. Now, I'm a strict no drugs guy. I've never done any drugs in my life. Proud of that. I'm probably one of the few DJs in the trance world I've done gigs at trance events, and I've looked out across the place and thought, oh my goodness, I'm the only person here who's clear-headed. So I never have done, don't smoke either. Recently I've taken to have a little bit of tequila when I'm playing, but that's about as far as it goes. But the point of this is that the biggest gig I ever did was Tokyo Dome. Did it a couple of times in 93 and 94. And when you perform on stage in front of 50,000 people, then I kind of understand a little bit of the dilemmas that these rock stars go through, the guys who do this night after night, because the adrenaline rush performing in such a huge crowd, when you come down from that, that's like hyper reality, and then the world almost seems black and white afterwards. So I only did it twice, so it was easy to make that adjustment back. But I'm sure people who do those arena shows night after night after night, it must mess with their head, because the adrenaline and the power and it must be a real weird thing for these rock superstars to handle. It must be.
Yes, actually, what I know is that some celebrities, they do have this what you call performing enhancing drugs that they rely on, and then there's another extreme where you have performers that are clean, no drugs, fantastically healthy living. They can run a marathon, no smoking, no alcohol, and continue to perform way into their 50s. Case in point is Madonna. I mean, Madonna is what, 60? And maybe in her younger years, she may have done some of those chemicals, in her system, but to be performing and dancing and, singing well into her 50s, and she's 61, and she can still do what she can do, and still, it's amazing.
Absolutely, that's it really is.
Yeah, it's a feat. It's that's why people pay a premium. And you're right. I mean, when you're in front of thousands of people in a big stadium, it's a different. It's not reality. It's it's so surreal. It must be so surreal.
It absolutely is, and I said it's not something I did many times. I mean, I do a big one once a year now, but not that big. But it's one night, and so it's okay. You know what it is. Go and do it, and come away and walk away from it. That's fine. But those guys who do these big things night after night, I'm sure it's a difficult thing mentally for them to handle. But here in Sanctuary, doing these long sets, as you mentioned earlier on, most club sets these days, it's an hour or an hour and a half.
Yes.
It's very tight, on rails things. Number one, it's going to be really hard for me to go back to playing in, if things return to a normal, it's going to be hard to go back to playing in a confined box where I have to start at this time and I have to end here. And the other side of the coin is doing these 5 or 6 hour slots and doing them 3 or 4 times a week. Lockdown's been great for me. I'm the lightest I've been since 1993. I've lost 8 kilos in lockdown. It's amazing.
Yeah, because the energy that you expend and you give out, and and it's palpable. One thing for sure, us
Thank you.
side of the fence, we feel the energy, and like I tell you, when you give off that energy to the universe, and the people feel it, there's something real going on, and it's really powerful.
It's a two-way street. I mean, it always is when you're performing in a club. You feel the tangible energy. Here, I get it back. I see it through the chat, and it's the same thing. I can feel the energy coming back. I mean, it sounds like hocus pocus, but I actually get it back, and the more I get that, the more it pumps me up, and it's really, it feeds off each other, I think.
Well, there is a metaphysical situation going on here, because the energy you expand goes into the digital space, reaches the audience on the other side, and they give it. And you're saying that there are thousands of people in the chat room, and your sanctuarians just give back all the love.
They are amazing. I mean, hats off. And any of them are listening, we do love you guys. You guys are the most amazing audience, and we love doing this for you. Absolutely do.
Yeah.
Well,
amazing people. Galing nila.
Like what I said, hats off to you, Dodo and DJ John Robinson. So honored to have you guys tonight. Our 2 hours is almost up. We're down to our last 7 minutes, would you believe?
Already?
That was quick.
I had such a fantastic time talking to you guys and sharing your experiences and your videos. And for the last few minutes of the show, I'd like to invite you to once again call on our guests, our audience out there, to watch Sanctuary. John, maybe you'd like to give your last invitation tonight?
All right, I'll go first, and Dodo, if that's all right. So, Sanctuary, our regular shows are every Friday and Saturday from 9 p.m. Manila. And then if you happen to be in North America, we do one which lines up better for your time zone. That's every Saturday night in North America, 10 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 p.m. on the West. This week, just in case you want to support the stranded OFWs, the LSIs as they call them, please donate. PayPal.me, that's letter M, letter E, PayPal.me/official DJ John Robinson. And you have our pledge, as we have done from day one when we started. Every centavo that comes in goes to the cause, and we will make sure that all these funds get passed over to OWA, who are looking after the returnees and helping them through this difficult time that they're going through. But thank you all so very much, and hope to see as many of you as possible at Sanctuary. And of course, you watch, please, on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/official DJ John Robinson.
Thank you, John. Dodo?
Thank you, Gracie.
First, I'd like to thank you, Gracie, for this opportunity. Thank you very much for guesting us. Second, like John said, please tune into Sanctuary. We get to party for 5 to 6 hours each broadcast. You get to join the chat, which is so much fun. And you get to help also. You have an opportunity to help our beneficiaries. If you need to contact us, message John on his Facebook. You can also contact BM Entertainment on Facebook. And since John gets to do all the shout outs every broadcast, please give me 4 seconds to do a shout out to my wife and 2 kids, Ray and Rocco. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Dodo Melicor of BM Entertainment and DJ John Robinson. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being with me. It's been a great 2 hours with you guys. And I'm sure that somewhere down the road, we're gonna get together with or without lockdown. So please continue your great job at Sanctuary. And all the Sanctuarians out there, I will join you again on Friday night next week.
Awesome.
I'm gonna pick up my feet. Yes, for sure.
Make yourself known on Twitch. Let us know you're there, Gracie. And thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. So ladies and gentlemen, that was our retro night with DJ John Robinson and Dodo Melicor of BM Entertainment. And one last reminder, this coming week, as you go out on your journeys out to Metro Manila and all other cities in the Philippines, remember, we are still under pandemic. We are still obliged to follow all of the rules, wear your face masks, continue with washing your hands and the utmost in sanitation protocols, please. Your lives are valuable, and I would like to see our country COVID-free. Let's all pray for that. Let's all pray for that. We have a big God, so let's all pray for a COVID-free Philippines. And for all of you out there, our frontliners, we salute you. Mabuhay kayong lahat. This is Philippine Independence Weekend, and I'm sure that one day we are going to be independent of COVID-19. Let's continue to pray for that. This has been Tita Gracie Venezuela. I will see you again next week. Let's chat with Tita Gracie. And remember, V81 Radio Worldwide is here for you. If you're a Filipino, wherever you are, tune in to V81 Radio Worldwide. Thank you and have a good evening.
Leading personalities, representative insights, relevant current issues all together in a meaningful and delightful conversations as your social barometer. Let's chat with Tita Gracie. Let's chat with Tita Gracie. Sundays, 6 p.m. Hosted by breakthrough millennial boomer Gracie Venezuela. Let's chat with Tita Gracie. Only here on V81 Radio. Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy. The future of radio. This is your all-hits, all-Pinoy internet radio station. This is V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito